involved.
I know.
You're not asking me about the strategy.
But listen, right now, I'm sure she doesn't want to ever think about it again.
No. The idea at this moment for her of when this is over again, them being like, hey, you know what? Let's start it on up again. I think that idea would make her lose her mind. So we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Well, my advice would be this, not that you're asked for it.
Certainly
if you're going to go for 2, do it right away.
Well, again, now that's really getting into not my call.
That's right.
No, but I'm saying do it right away so you don't have to, go through all the tough parts, stop, and then go through them again. Just keep it steady.
It's just been a rough 7 months for her. So it's going to be what makes her feel comfortable. I hear you. And she thinks about that, too, but she couldn't do right away.
Listen, I was 3.5 difference between me and my brother. Nancy's was 2. I think between 2 and 3 is fine. Now, you're of a certain age, Peter. I don't know how old Dad you want to be.
I don't want to wait 7 years.
But I think a couple of years apart, 3 years is not bad. It doesn't have to be 9 months later.
Well, Charlie's 22 months after Kelly.
Yeah,
and it's his birthday today, by the way.
I think that's more on the closer. Under 2 is a little.
Under 2 is on the
quick side.
On the quick side.
It's starting on 3 days rest.
Yeah, well, it can be done. Hey, it may be the off season, but every season is different.
Hydration is essential, and Advocare Rehydrate makes it delicious. With 8 refreshing flavors like berry lemon ice and pomegranate tangerine, use code THIRSTY to get a free sample pack with your first order of Rehydrate and try all the best flavors to find your favorite.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Scheduling is easy with Square appointments. Clients can book online 24/7. Take payments at your station or the front desk. To offer seamless checkouts. Keep track of commissions and split tips with just a few clicks. Gain time and peace of mind with beauty tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today at square.com.
Want to stop hair loss in its tracks? Through Hims.com, you can explore a range of options that work best for you, so you can grow visibly thicker and fuller hair. Get back your robust head of hair in just 3 to 6 months with doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride, minoxidil, and a blend of supplements that support healthy hair. 3 in 4 Hims customers say they wish they started using hair treatment earlier. Stop hair loss and regrow hair. Get started today at Hims.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
With Udemy, there's a world of possibility at your fingertips. With one click, you're in the leading online marketplace for learning and skills. Want to become an AI expert? This is learning from real-world experts around the globe. Want to awaken your artistic side? This is learning your way. Want to switch professions? Help your team reskill? This is Udemy, the power of possibilities.
People often ask me, when's the best time to start investing for my future? And I always say, there's no time like now. If you had started with $5 a day 10 years ago at a hypothetical 8% return, you could have over $25,000 now. Invest those $5 now. Acorns, grow your oak now.
Those shins, so smooth, like marble pillars. Would have made the Romans proud. Wow, I'm literally thinking about the Roman Empire. Weird. Sort of want to feel them. Weirder.
How are your shins so smooth? It's the EOS body lotion. Try mine.
Can I feel them?
Oh.
EOS body lotion. Stay smooth. I love my fruit to the root. I love my fruit, they a wonderful treat. I love my fruit, they so juicy and sweet. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape. I love my fruit to the root. Fruits in my smoothies, mango so groovy. Melons and limes, sometimes I get choosy. Bananas for breakfast, blueberries for brunch, pineapples for dinner, fruit salad for lunch. Even though oranges don't rhyme, they don't. I'm still gonna eat them, they mine. I love my fruit, every flavor and taste. I love my fruit, every color and shape.
I wanted to improve my credit score as quickly as possible. Borrowing from Upstart was incredibly simple. The interest rates were incredibly attractive. Going through the process took just a couple of minutes. The approval process was basically instantaneous, and I got the money within a few days. Paying off those credit cards meant a lot. It felt empowering to have control over my own credit destiny. There couldn't be a simpler process for paying off your credit cards.
Custom shirts help people feel like they're part of a team. My name is Timothy Chi, and I'm the CEO of Wedding Lock. We're very proud customers of Custom Ink. We keep coming back to Custom Ink because of the quality of the product, the customer service, and the ease of use. That moment you walk in the office and people are wearing the same gear, you feel a sense of connectedness and belonging right away. And our shirts from Custom Ink help bring us together.
We make it easy to wow all your groups with high-quality custom apparel, accessories.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The Nets enjoyed sizable leads and lost in their first two games on their road trip. Down in New Orleans, they trailed by 8 in the fourth, and they were the ones to come back. The Nets made 9 shots in the fourth. 6 of those were threes, and 3 of those came from Cam Thomas. The last one here would give the Nets the lead for good. He scored 10 of his team-high 17 in the fourth and helped the squad to a 2-point victory. It wasn't just Thomas's sniper ability from distance. It was the Nets getting big stops defensively down the stretch. The Pelicans went 0 for 8 from the field over the last 3.5 minutes of the game. The Nets won the battle of the boards in the fourth as well. They were a +8 on the glass, 18-10. Tomorrow night, the Nets get right back to work as they return home and take on the defending champion Celtics. They took them to overtime last week in Boston. Can they pick up a win at home tomorrow? You'll have to tune in and find out. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 7, followed by opening tip a little after 7:30. It's the Nets and the Celtics tomorrow night. Coverage starting at 7 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app.
ENN, everyone.
Ray Rowe.
On TUE.
It is brought to you by our friends over at Security Dodge.
Love those people.
I'd like to say good evening to Michael.
He's going to be here for a long time.
And to Michael.
He's been here a long time, and he's going to be here even longer.
And to Don.
The second intermission meatballs.
Mobo, who tweeted.
We love Mobo.
I guess he works for Mushnick. After we promoted that we had Bob Wischusen on, gee, can you imagine? Their guest works at ESPN. What a get. Well, we got him on for something that has nothing to do with ESPN because the Jets are gone. So try again, Mobo. Or is it pronounced yo-yo?
By the way, if anyone wants to spend some quality time.
Nah.
No, I'm doing a live podcast tonight.
Good for you.
No way.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's very difficult to believe.
Me and Cypher Sounds are going to be at SOB's tonight as part of the New York Comedy Festival.
SOB stands for what?
Sounds of Brazil.
Love it.
Legendary New York venue. Will be downtown. Our guests include the great Sam J, Michelle Wolf, my friend Smoke Dizza, who I know Michael's a big fan of.
Is it wrong that I don't know any of those people? But I want to?
Well, no, I appreciate you for wanting to know. I feel like you might recognize Michelle Wolf if you saw.
I know Michelle Wolf.
You know Michelle Wolf, right, Mike?
Yeah.
I know Michelle Beadle and Jenna Wolf. Does that count?
No. Right. What about Smoke Dizza?
Yeah, she's got to stop smoking pot if she does, in fact, do that.
I don't know who that is.
Wow, drugs must be great. I had a little something, a little toke of the old Bubanj.
Whoever that person is, I'm sure they partake, right?
It was skunk pot.
Not skunk
Drugs
pot.
must be great.
Yeah,
real high quality.
His name is Smokey. It's Smoked is Smokey. I mean, I call him Smokey.
You do?
I call him Smokey. Literally one of my favorite human beings in the world. One of my closest friends.
Well, that's why I want to get to know him. If you love him, then I love him.
I love him. One of my closest friends in the business.
So this is a live podcast?
That's
so
right.
Is this essentially radio?
No. Live podcast as in person in front of people.
Oh, okay.
But it'll be consumed.
Not live. It'll be consumed
After the
recorded.
fact,
Correct. On video, on your video or audio devices.
We're thinking about doing that with Game Misconduct, right, Anthony? Just rent out a theater and do it in front of everybody.
Well, you know what? I hear the NHL store could be a good place for you guys to go do something. Yeah, sure.
I think we'd pull a crowd.
I think so.
Absolutely, you would. Also, let me say good evening to myself and Don. By the way, if anyone wants to spend some quality time.
Nah. That was a quick turnaround, Jacob. Good job.
Yeah. You know how they do
We
over
don't
there.
see that often.
No.
That's a unicorn.
Joe Shane spoke, or as I call him, Joe Skio-Shane, about the Giants' great start to the season. Here's Joe Shane, not happy at 2-8.
Obviously, we're sitting here at 2-8 and not where we want to be. Nobody's happy about it. You know, ownership, Dave's, me, coaches, people in the building, the fans, and I understand that. What we're going to do the rest of the week is, do self-evaluation on the roster, personnel, and try to find solutions as we move forward. These last 7 games. So that's what we'll focus on this week. The guys came in, had a good day of practice today, lifted, had meetings.
Do you know one of the worst playing off, Peter? It might have been the Grammys. It was one of the last public appearances of Frank Sinatra, and they played him off.
Ugh.
Imagine that, Frank Sinatra.
At one of the shows recently, and I don't remember which show it was, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or Golden Globes. I don't remember which show I was watching. But which I got it's on the tip of my tongue. Right when the person started talking about someone who had passed away, they started playing the playoff music. And I'm like, you got to stop playing the music. You got to pull back the music and let him go. And also, sometimes it bothers me. You got to know who you're dealing with. Sometimes they play it with someone who's so big, and I'm like, you can't play them off.
Yeah, you can't play Frank Sinatra off.
Yeah,
you can't play Sinatra off.
Can we find that, Jacob, somewhere? Because I want to know what that sounds like. Play off Frank.
It was awful. It was so cringe, as my daughter would say.
It's Frank. Like the equivalent was for you on center stage, Michael. Was it Red Auerbach?
Right.
You don't tell him to put his cigar out.
But somebody did. He laughed at him. He laughed right in their face.
Fire marshal. If Don and Peter are on center stage and we're smoking, they drag us out by our hair.
They just take a huge thing of water and throw it right in the face.
One of the little secrets about center stage is I have an earpiece in my ear which connects me to the producer, and we had some pretty big stars on, and like some of them would go long, and I would get cut them off. Now, sometimes I refuse to do it. I mean, it's not a live show. We don't have to get into an hour, and it could be edited later. I'm not going to cut off, whomever. It's ridiculous.
You're not going to cut off former Nets coach Lawrence Frank in the middle of a great story.
No, I would not do that.
How dare you disrespect?
I do feel bad because I like Lawrence Frank, but if you are searching for somebody to reference on center stage that you can do that, that's the first one that pops to mind. Isn't that a shame?
Do you guys, are you interested in hearing Joe Shane being asked about if he thinks he'll be back?
Yeah, let's hear that, yes. Get the band ready, though.
Another year free agency, another draft. Do you expect to be back here, especially if this team doesn't win some games down the stretch?
Yes.
Do you expect to be back? Have you been told you definitely will be back?
I communicate with ownership all the time. I know Dave talks about that continuously each time these questions come up. And we have a really good relationship with ownership, and we communicate constantly with them. And there's confidence in the plan.
We were able to get where he needed.
Why is it that I never don't find that funny?
I know.
And isn't it great that after all these years, things constantly evolve on the show? Up until 2 weeks ago, I'd say, I used that exclusively for Richard.
Right.
And then at some point, I was playing audio from someone who was so bored, and I said, let me just start playing them
now
out.
It's most of the audio. Listen, there was me that wouldn't play audio again, but we're making it work now. We're finding the best of both worlds here. Well, that sounded genuine to me, that there has been a conversation that he's safe.
Yeah, but if they lose their neck, well, what do they have, 8 games remaining? 7?
7.
We'll see. Things change. It's fluid, as they say, fluid.
Everything's very fluid.
But that's also got to be a part of his thought process, or how are we going to play in these final 7? But if he's got Drew Lock playing in those 7 games, and Drew Lock is awful, and you go to DeVito and he's twice as bad, what do you think the record's going to be?
All right, so let me ask you this, Don. I'm asking you as a Giant fan.
Mm-hmm.
When it's over, they're 3-14. And Mara says to Belichick, I want you back. Does Belichick take the job? Does he take a 3-14 team? Because it might be hard to break Shula's record then.
I think this is the one team he would do it for, because he has said that this is the one soft spot he has in his.
But the one thing he has left doing coaching is to get those 15 wins. That might not be easy to come by with the Giants.
No, but I also don't think that he would be, a one-and-done guy. I think that he would probably look at it and go, all right, a year of assessing, and then hit the ground running in 26, and then I think I can get to my 15 in the next 2 or 3 years and get this team back to respectability. I don't think Bill Belichick would take it, thinking he was only going to be there for a couple of years. And
well, what's the most he's going to sign, though? He's going to sign a 3-year deal. He's 72.
He'll sign a 3-year contract. You don't think he can get 15 wins in 3 years?
With this team? I don't know.
No, well, then he's not doing his job then, Michael. Now here's the issue. Is Joe Shane his general manager, somebody else, or is it going to be Bill for the whole shebang? I'm not sure I'd want to sign up for that. Because, listen, he's an ungodly good head coach. He's an average general manager. And it's going to take a lot of work to get this roster to the point where anybody's going to be successful with it. So I don't know if I want him to be the general manager. So if I have to give him the whole kit and caboodle, no, I'm good. But if he's willing to just be the coach, and whether it's Joe or somebody else that's the general manager, I think I'd be willing to do that.
Kick the can?
No, he's a great coach. But then you start getting to Phil Jackson territory if you start having him be your general manager. What does his resume tell me that he's going to be able to turn around a team buying the groceries?
Hey, let's ask Aaron Rodgers something on Pat McAfee.
Sure.
Aaron, what's the mindset in the room right now?
Well, it hasn't changed for me. I think you got to approach it the same every single week. When there's a lot of conversation like, oh, what are you going to do now? Like, well, you do what you know how to do. You go back to work. Preparation stays the same. Maybe it kicks up a little bit if you need to for guys that, feel like they can give a little more. But I've been doing this a long time, and the preparation stays the same. Focus stays the same. I think you got to handle it with humility. Been a lot of pies to be eaten around here this year. Flavored humble.
The one thing that
what does that mean?
Well, humble pie. Pie's flavored humble.
The flavor.
When he said, I don't feel that way. I mean, meaning others might.
Yeah, I don't speak genius.
Let me tell you something that they should have asked about next season. I mean, this season for the squadron. I don't see the drop I was looking for. So
oh, boy, you messed it up.
Yeah, it fell apart. It was there. I swear I saw it.
A lot of good it does.
I lost it.
I don't know what else he's going to say.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, here we go.
The question is this season...
Missed it.
Probably wasn't worth it. Yeah, sure. Oh, well, but by the way, actually, Aaron Rodgers responded to that. He said there's still hope.
You got to hold on to that beautiful thing in life called hope. And that's just, there's a chance. We're not mathematically eliminated. There's a lot to play for. At the end of the day, one thing that we can play for, whether we're 10-0 or 3-7, is pride. Pride in your performance, pride in the product you're putting on the field. I'm not wanting to let your coaches down, the teammates down, the guys in the locker room.
Pride comes before the fall.
One thing I saw in that team as they were losing 31-6 to the Arizona Cardinals, pride.
And the two words that did not pop to mind during that game was hope and pride.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I didn't feel a ton of pride when I was watching. I didn't see that.
And I didn't sense any hope.
When I saw players grabbing onto offensive players, having full hold of them, and then letting go and falling on the ground as they ran off, pride wasn't what hit me. All right, so we didn't get to this yesterday, but let's get to it today. As we already received the horrifying news that Dak Prescott will be out, season-ending surgery for Dak Prescott. So Cowboys got some problems, but the problems picked up yesterday when Micah Parsons was asked about Mike McCarthy, and his answer was interesting.
You know, that's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year. All coaching aside, coaching, you know, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants, but the guys I kind of feel bad for is guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year on their way out, you know, because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You know, you want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
Now, he had me in the beginning of it.
And then the end was just...
Because you got to play for your teammates, and don't worry about Mike McCarthy. He's not sacrificing his body. My teammates... But then...
The end was a Scud missile. Here's Micah on his podcast, The Edge, denying taking a shot at Mike McCarthy.
I never once threw... or even intended to throw Mike McCarthy under the bus. Like I said, he's one of the most winningest coach. He is a Super Bowl champ. I never once brung up his past. And the question that was asked was about here in the Dallas Cowboys, did I see Mike McCarthy in our future? And I said, that's above my pay grade. So never once did I ever intended or wanted to reflect on Mike McCarthy's career because I always knew it was a good one. I've always had a great relationship with Mike McCarthy, and I never even put that in question. And for a guy like Rex Ryan, I just know he wanted to coach the Cowboys. Like, I'm perfectly happy that we have Zimmerman, because if we have a guy that's willing to go on TV and provide this type of nonsense, imagine what he could do to a locker room.
But he's denying what he said.
Right, he's saying his out is I didn't intend. I never intended to. Well, you did.
But you said, I forget what the percent was, a 10 time, or whatever he said, worked harder than Mike McCarthy. Now, I guess he can spin it. Well, I'm talking about it in the weight room. I'm talking about on the field. He might put his work in, but it's not as physically demanding as it is for a player. But that's not what he said. He implied that the players are working harder than him, which then the implication is that Mike McCarthy's not giving his all. That's the way I took it. Now, I would obviously be the bad guy if I were to bring that up to him. Well, why did you take it that way? Well, why are you comparing Mike McCarthy to the players and in making the players seem like they're working harder than your coach? How is the coach supposed to take that? But listen, he's brilliant. That's a guy that deserves whatever he gets paid post-career because he is going to be outstanding.
Micah?
Yeah.
No, he's got a future.
Micah getting a mic.
Here's Mike McCarthy responding to Micah's comments.
What post-game remarks and really any remarks, when it does create questions for others in the locker room, conversation has to happen. So Mike and I had a conversation this morning about it, and handle those things as men should handle it. But we need to just keep it about football, because if we're not working on football, our opponent is an hour or two better than us already.
You know what I don't get about the Cowboys? Well, why are they starting Cooper Rush? Well, why aren't they starting Trey Lance?
Trey Lance can't play.
But they know what they have in Cooper Rush. Trey Lance was a former #1 draft pick.
Right, so I'm assuming they know what they have in him and know that he's not any good. Now, why they traded for him, I'll never understand that. But doesn't that speak volumes, Michael?
It does, but again, they traded for him, so they think there's something there. So I don't get it. Don't you want to see for sure what you have? You know what you have with Cooper Rush. He's not a great quarterback. He's backup.
Well, then I can only assume that they know what they have in Trey Lance, and it's not good. Now, Jerry traded for him, but that doesn't mean that the coaching staff thinks he's any good. Or do they think, hey, we're still mathematically alive, and we're gonna play Cooper Rush because he's done it before, and then at some point they'll go to Trey Lance. I mean, that's a possibility, because they don't want to give up until it's actually mathematical, which is probably going to come sooner than later, especially when they play at home. The only one worse at home are the Giants. They're terrible at home, the Cowboys. God.
Guys, that'll do it for ENN.
So good.
Thank you very much.
No, seriously,
on this Tuesday evening, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Black Friday sales event.
Don't know if you guys know this, but the NBA Cup is back. Yeah, you can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
People are always asking me, where did you get those shoes? Like sneakers perfect for holiday shopping and bringing all kinds of joy to your world. Or cozy booties that pair well with hot chocolate and holiday movie binges. And of course, the perfect party shoes for every event on your calendar this season. Find gifts for your girls or just for you in my collection at DSW.
Switch to Square and join over 4 million businesses worldwide. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale the way you want and the way they want, too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Gain time and peace of mind with tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got Nets.
You coming?
Recently, Congress set an annual limit on Part D out-of-pocket costs to help Medicare beneficiaries better afford their medications. In 2025, that annual limit will be $2,000. Another new benefit, called the Medicare Prescription Payment Plan, helps beneficiaries spread their out-of-pocket costs into monthly installments with no interest or fees. To sign up, you must contact your Part D insurance plan at least 24 hours before you pick up your prescription. This is important because you can't sign up at the pharmacy counter. To learn more, visit www.loweroutofpocketcosts.org.
Extreme weather and climate disasters have sadly become a reoccurring part of our lives, and less than half of all pet owners have a disaster plan in place. Unfortunately, those plans tend to forget about our furry friends, so it's more crucial than ever to have a well-packed pet disaster kit on standby with your pet's essentials. For over 140 years, the team at American Humane have been lending a hand to animals in need. Natural disasters threaten humans and animals alike, so take precautions to keep you and your pet safe. For more information, please check out AmericanHumane.org.
I started having knee pain in my early 50s. I'm Phil Simms, pro football legend and TV analyst. My knee pain would wake me up during the middle of the night. It hurt me every time I played sports, if it was basketball, tennis, and even golf. I quit being active, and it got to a point where I want to be active, and that's why I'm sitting here today.
Arthritis Knee Pain Centers uses an image-guided procedure that allows them to place an all-natural cushioning gel directly into the affected joint, restoring mobility and relieving your pain without surgery or downtime.
I think what really surprised me is how easy it was and how there was no pain to the treatment.
It's covered by Medicare and most private insurance.
I have no pain. That's gone away, and I got to tell you, I feel great. I'm back to playing a little tennis. I played pickleball, which I said I would never do. Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, they relieve my pain and changed my life.
Call Arthritis Knee Pain Centers now and schedule your no-charge, no-obligation knee pain screening. Call 800-823-3160.
In New York, all that anyone is looking for is a chance. In a place with endless possibility, New York Public Schools gives students the chance to find their voice in a chorus of millions, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not just study the stars, but see them up close. And every time you take a chance on the New York Lottery, our schools win.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Ice Picks. Ice Picks. Ice Picks.
Now it's time for Ice Picks, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. Islanders are in Edmonton to take on the Oilers. So I am going to go with anytime goal scorer. Why not? Connor McDavid at +120. Anytime goal scorer for Edmonton tonight at +120. That's Ice Picks, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For a pain-free life, visit SamwellPain.com today. Reprimanded by Wachusett on text, Michael. It's like he's hearing from his brother that I called his wife Wendy. You did that. His wife's name's Julie. So now we sound alike?
Well, I was saying Wendy because the alliterative nature of it. And I called his kids Wes and, William and Willie.
You just went Wendy with shoes because it works.
Yeah, it works for me.
But it's wrong. And apparently I'm the one that said it.
And now you don't know your friend's wife's name.
What's happened to you, Don? Really? What's happened to you?
Guy. Bad
What happened to you?
I've always been this way. Peter will tell you that.
Yeah, no, he's been a bad guy.
Yeah, I haven't changed.
For a long time.
Wow, they got that ice pick up in 20 seconds on X.
I know what they're doing.
Wow.
Well, that or Anthony and I discussed this, and we know what's coming, and he can just send it out the second that it's read because there's a symmetry. There's a game plan.
All right, so I'm so done with some of the things that happened today in athletics.
Okay. Athletics.
Gleyber Torres has scrubbed his Instagram of all mention of the Yankees. Oh, what will they ever do, Gleyber? What will they ever do that you've scrubbed them out of your Instagram? I mean, really? And I'm not just picking on Gleyber. Every athlete does it. What are you sending out a message? They probably don't want you back. Doesn't matter if you scrub them from your Instagram.
Well, but it sends out the message of it's just like the boyfriend, the girlfriend breaks up with the boyfriend. I didn't want to be going out. I would have broken up with you.
Exactly, but we know that's not the case.
But you know what? I can't kill the players because it makes news, right?
But what news is he trying to make?
He's trying to make news that he's being preemptive. He knows he's not going to come back. So he scrubs it. It gets out there. You, the voice of the Yankees, goes on his afternoon show and says that it's been scrubbed, and it sends the message out that maybe he's done with the Yankees. Maybe he doesn't want to go back to the Yankees.
And if the Yankees offered him $1.380, he'd come back.
Oh, well, then all's forgiven because he got his $1.80.
$1.380.
But he ends up signing with Milwaukee, and he'll take the Mike Williams shot on his Instagram.
There was a signing today in baseball free agency. This guy always gets a job because he's a pretty good player. Travis d'Arnaud signed a 2-year, $12 million deal with the Angels.
Good for Travis.
Yeah.
Major League of Jays.
Well, what does that mean?
The Angels are Major League of Jays. And I believe his name is pronounced Darnaud.
Listen, I wouldn't mind having him back as a backup catcher. I like him.
You don't like Luis Torrens?
I like...
You're more history with d'Arnaud.
Yeah, he's
by the way, more like Dar, yes, am I right? that was for you.
That might be point guard.
Well, just since we don't have to make a point guard, as we found out. Just have to sound good.
No, since we're going with dad jokes, I heard one today on Instagram I thought that Peter would like. Did you hear
What's
about
that?
the superhero that had a lisp? What happened after he lifted weights? He was Thor.
Oh. Well.
No?
Sure.
No good? Let's go.
Clown show! Clown show! Clown show! Clown
Let's go to Wade in Rochester. Wade.
Michael, how are you? Another great show.
Thanks.
A little bit of background. I'm a diehard Giants fan like Don, and I know this. Back in the day, if we didn't have patience with Bill Parcells, we wouldn't have had Bill Parcells. Any program in the NFL that's good has continuity in the GM position and the head coach position, and we got two really good ones. I watched Jared Goff throw 5 interceptions. I live in Rochester, so I hear everything about our famous quarterback here, Josh Allen. And when they throw 2 picks and he throws 5 picks, nobody gets upset for one reason. They win.
Right.
So what are you saying? That Daniel Jones is good?
I'm saying Daniel Jones is better than we think.
No, well, he's not. He's worse than we think.
He's good.
6 years. Wade, 6 years. You're talking about Jared Goff, who when he was with the Rams, when Jared Goff was with the Rams, he took them to the Super Bowl. Okay, he took the Lions to the NFC Championship game. The coach lost that game, not Jared Goff. You can't compare them. Josh Allen is a legitimately great quarterback.
I think I was saying that Joe Shane and Brian Dable are keepers. I didn't say that Daniel Jones was a keeper.
Then I don't think we understand what you're saying.
I'm not understanding a word he's saying. But what I was able to kind of get through is, if they lost patience in Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells in 1983 went 3-12.
Almost got fired.
Almost got fired. And in 1984, they go 9-7 and they make the playoffs and win a playoff game. So that's the difference. Now, Dable did go to the playoffs and win a playoff game in his first year, but there's a possibility in the next 2 years combined, they might have a grand total of like 9 wins. So it's apples to wrenches, the Parcells, because now you're talking about a resume of 2 years of losing and a first year that, yes, they did go to the playoffs and they won a playoff game, but took 2 significant steps backwards in the process. So if you want to keep Dable and Shane, I think it's a fascinating conversation. You could talk to 10 experts in the NFL, Michael, and probably get 5 that think they should go and 5 that think they should stay. I think it's a really difficult conundrum for John Mara on what to do if this season goes south. But don't compare it to Bill Parcells, who had one bad year and then goes to the playoffs the next year. The problem is his best year was his first year. It's like M. Night Shyamalan. His best movie was his first movie. And then since then, each movie's got progressively worse. That's what's happening with Dable and Shane. Their Sixth Sense was year 1.
And it wasn't Sixth Sense.
No.
It was more like Signs.
Yeah, it was
reverse. If Sixth Sense was Signs.
Or what was the superhero one?
But I see the connection to Sixth Sense, though, because since then we found out they're dead.
Oh, that wasn't where I was going.
I like what you did there.
His best movie was his first movie.
But also...
The Samuel L. Jackson with the Bruce Willis is the only one that survives the train crash.
Oh, yeah, that one. I know. It wasn't Signs, but it was...
Was it Unbreakable?
Unbreakable, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say I watched the most recent movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrifying.
Is it as bad as Lady in the Water?
I think it's lower budget. He now makes movies that feel like TV movies. Like it's bad.
But still gets tens of millions of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Seemingly, it was on Netflix because it was straight to Netflix, which was probably a big.
I'm getting yelled at to break right now.
You were
break.
Yep.
Break.
Hey, Michael K here to tell you about my flavor.
We're unboxing Unbeatable values for your home every Friday in November, because every day is like Black Friday at Bob's. And our first unboxing is complete dining sets for just $5.99. We're serving up stunning mid-century style with comfy Bob-O-Pedic seating, a timeless extendable set with your choice of finishes, height, seating, and more, all just $5.99. I know, it's emotional. So check back every Friday for a new unboxing, because every day is like Black Friday when you dare to compare at Bob's.
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Has anything changed since we last spoke?
You know what? Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Make sense of your money with Citizens.
Dear Non-Stick Surface, you're great for scrambling eggs, but to drive on, well, that's what it feels like when things get rough. Good thing we have amazing traction. Let's bond. Toyota all-wheel drive vehicles.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease RAV4 with all-wheel drive for just $299 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Don't let a clogged gutter rain on your parade. Protect your home with LeafGuard, the only one-piece seamless gutter system guaranteed to never clog, no matter the weather. Never clean your gutters again with LeafGuard. LeafGuard's patented seamless design keeps leaves, pests, and sediment out while directing water away from your home, preventing wood rot and foundation decay, giving you peace of mind that your home and family are protected from water damage with the industry's premier maintenance-free gutter system. LeafGuard is the smartest solution in gutter protection, proudly protecting your home by getting it right the first time for a lifetime. From manufacturing to installation, LeafGuard handles the entire process from start to finish. Invest in your home with a company you can trust. Call 833-LeafGuard right now for a free estimate and save 20% plus $500 off your purchase and installation. LeafGuard, get it today, protected for life.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too.
That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? I don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Welcome to the Warehouse, home of Blitzball Battle 5, where the big leagues meet the backyard. Pro athletes and some not pro athletes. Hearts on the line. Games that matter just enough. On to the final. Blitzball Battle 5 premieres November 4th. Watch all year round on Warehouse Games YouTube.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So, it's getting clearer now, the teams that look to be in on Juan Soto. But, of course, you know, as with every client of Scott Boras, there's always the secret teams that we can't figure out. But the ones that I think that make the most sense, Yankees, the Mets, they say the Red Sox are in, the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays. Now, there could be other teams that have the money. The Cubs have the money if they like. The Phillies have the money, so they could be in as well. But those make sense to me. And the Blue Jays have so much money because the family that owns the Blue Jays, they own all of cable in the country, not just Toronto. It's the Rogers family.
The Rogers have done well in
They've
Canada.
done very, very well. So I don't think that there's any budget that they're going to bust. It'll be extremely intriguing to me, though, because the Blue Jays, before last year, they offered essentially the same deal that the Dodgers offered to Ohtani, and they didn't get him. And they probably would have offered more. But at some point, Ohtani was like benevolent and said, you know what? Don't keep doing this. This is enough for me with the Dodgers. So will Juan Soto actually take his talents to Toronto, north of the border? You know, the Red Sox being in play. I think the Red Sox saying they're in play, now it's just a guess on my part. Maybe they surprise all of us. If they see it's going to cost, $50 million, $55 million a year for 14 years, are they really in? I think that they're trying to satisfy a very angry fan base because the Red Sox have been bad for the last 3 years, and they don't spend money. And believe me, they print money like the Yankees do with Yes and the Mets do with SNY. Well, Cohen doesn't own SNY, so I take that back. But what the Yankees do with Yes and the Dodgers do with their cable company, the Red Sox own NESN. They own Fenway Park. Mm-hmm. So obviously they have the money. I just don't think that they're in play. Now, it makes sense for them to say they're in play because even if the Yankees sign him, you want that price to go up as high as possible. But I thought one of the great points made in the paper today, and it was by Mike Vaccaro, Don, he said, please stop with the history of the franchise. It doesn't mean anything to players. It means something to fans and sports writers. It means nothing to Juan Soto that the Yankees are the crown jewel franchise in all of baseball. It doesn't. Who's going to pay him more? The Mets or the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Blue Jays? That's what it's going to be. So it's going to be. And one thing that was written today, I think Jeff Passan had it. He believes that this is going to be done by the winter meetings on December 9th. So we'll have an answer. He thinks by December 9th it's not going to be dragged out, which I think is what every team needs.
I think Buster had said December 15th, and so Passan December 9th. So we're all looking at, the beginning, during, or after, immediately after the winter meetings. So we're about a month away. So that kind of makes sense, and I think that gives time for the losers to be able to go and gobble up the free agents that they need. So that's good. You didn't want this, going into February where all the real good free agents are gobbled up by the teams that weren't in on Juan Soto. But it makes sense for all these teams to be in, give their fan bases some hope that their franchise is going to get this kind of a player. But ultimately, are they going to be able to dance with the Cohen money? If Steve Cohen is willing to go as far as he needs to go. So that's the X factor. Is there a budget for the Mets? And does it exceed the budget of other teams? As you said, Blue Jays, very wealthy team. Red Sox, very wealthy team. We know how much money the Yankees have. But we all know none of them really come close to the wealth that Steve Cohen has away from the Mets. How much is he willing to dip in to that $20 billion he's worth outside of the Mets organization? How much? Or is Stearns going to tell him, no, listen, we're going to have to work within some sort of a budget, and we can't get that crazy. But, Michael, if he wants to pay him $60 million a year, then he's going to the Mets. I don't think any of these other teams are going to dance. I don't think the Yankees have any appetite to do it, and I don't think the Blue Jays and the Red Sox have the money to go that far.
I think the Blue Jays do.
Well, $60 million for 13 years?
They might. I think the Yankees would say, no, we're not going there.
Yeah, I don't think the Yankees will go there. The Red Sox, you made the point. The Blue Jays are the national team in Canada. Ton of money with Rogers. But if Cohen decides to go now, I'll go 65. Are they able to get into, that auction house kind of back and forth? Who's going to put the paddle up with the number, the last time? And the suggestion is that Steve Cohen is that guy. But we don't know. We know he can do that, but do we know he was willing to go as far as anybody else, and even more so? Do we know that for a fact? We don't. We know he's got the money to do it, but does he have the appetite to do it?
And we know that starting, I believe, it's this week, are the Dance For Me meetings. And Francisco Lindor,
we love those.
Francisco Lindor is heading to California to be part of that meeting. It's just unbelievable to me. It's a charade is what it is. It's a charade because it's all going to come down to money because everybody that's going to be in certainly wants to win. And, to make people fly across the country, again, not the most arduous thing when you're flying private, but still to do that, for what? Especially the Yankees, for what?
All right, so if it's something deeper than a dog and pony show, what are we looking at? A say in how the franchise is run? Could Juan Soto and Boris be asking for, hey, I want everything to run through me?
No, well, that's an automatic no matter how great he is.
Well, it might be an automatic no for the Yankees, but that doesn't mean it's an automatic no for, say, the Giants, who seem to get turned down by every free agent that they go after, or the Blue Jays, who seem to get turned down by every free agent they go after. I agree with you. I don't think the Yankees would allow it. But would the Blue Jays say, hey, yeah, you can run our franchise?
I don't think so.
Would the Giants say?
I think that what we found over time is that active players are the worst GMs of all time.
Of course. But I look at Toronto and San Francisco specifically, that they feel like they're close. Whether it's true or not, I think they both believe they're close. San Francisco's got a new GM. They were 2 games under 500 last year, but they're in a very competitive division. Arizona's very good, and we know how good the Dodgers are, and the Padres. They want to move up. Nobody seems to want to take their money. Buster Posey, is now running the show there. How far are they willing to go to finally land the big kahuna? I don't know. I would think they would have a limit. I don't think it's a good idea to give carte blanche to any player. But how many times do you want to be told no by every big free agent in San Francisco and Toronto? When's enough where they say, all right, we got to win one of these? How far are they willing to go to have that happen? I don't know.
I mean, listen, all great players that are signed to long-term contracts, they're I wouldn't say they're part of the decision-making process, but they're certainly alerted what's going on. I mean, Aaron Judge was alerted when they were getting Juan Soto. That's what you do to a franchise player. So he will be made aware. I don't think anything's going to take him by surprise. But if you ever give up any kind of authority to a player, David Stearns wouldn't do it. No. Brian Cashman would never do it. I don't think Buster Posey just got the job. Buster Olney wouldn't do it. Would not be giving. The champ wouldn't do it, Peter.
It doesn't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're the general manager, but we've all agreed that things get run by Judge, but based on the amount of money that they paid him. Aaron Judge is a part of the process. He's not the process. He's part of the process. Is that what Juan Soto's asking for? Like, I want a seat at the table right next to Judge. When you guys have meetings about free agents and trades and direction of the franchise, if Judge has a seat at the table, I want one right alongside him. Like something like that. Are we talking about that?
I don't know.
Are we talking about a percentage of T-shirt sales? I don't know. Because it probably just is a glorified dog and pony show. Jump for me, dance for me, clown. That's probably what he's doing.
This is the thing that bothers me, and maybe I'm just too sensitive about it. I think it's unseemly. Now, I believe that he should get as much money as he possibly can. He should break every record if he can. You should have teams bidding against each other. But having them make presentations to you like this, and somebody told me that, Scott has put out like a dossier of over 100 pages. He's not telling any GMs or owners anything that they don't know. The analytics have caught up with Scott Boris's analytics. So, I mean, again, having the Yankees, who you know more about than any team other than the Nationals, fly out there to do what? So, again, I just think he's a good guy. He handled himself in a really great way all year. Why do this? Why make people dance for you? Again, some professional athletes, like LeBron, never got the chance to be seduced by a college. They never got recruited. So I think they want to feel the love. But if I'm the Yankees, and I knew that I'm going to offer the most money, I'm not saying that that's the case, I'd say, yeah, you kind of know what we're about. But you can't, because if you don't get them, then your fan base will jump all over you. Why didn't Hal fly out? I don't understand. Why did the Yankees play so hardball? But it's unseemly. It really is.
It feels that way, unless there is something else to ask for. Now, educate me, Michael. If you were to give him a percentage of merch, does that also fall under the threshold? As income, right? So it's just like a salary cap where, even if it's not money. I remember having a conversation, what if they offered, the Knicks offered LeBron James a helicopter to take him from Manhattan to Westchester every day? That would count towards the cap. It would count as salaries. You can't do it. All right, so it isn't anything like that. Now, you also said, or at least Alex said, that the rumors of a merchandise tent with Alex Rodriguez was BS.
Right.
That didn't happen. But that's according to Alex. Is Alex telling the truth?
Well, I think
something Boris was asking.
I think that what happened, because he didn't ask for it from Texas. He didn't ask for it with the Yankees. So when he signed that new deal, but I think it was this. I think that's, Scott Boras can ask for the moon, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that Steve Phillips was under marching orders from the Wilpon. They did not want to swim in the deep end of the pool. And they said, you come up with something that, we're not going to, we can't sign him. So I think Steve Phillips would have loved to have had him.
Yeah, because it ended up being the 24
and 1, right.
Yeah, and for people that don't remember that, because it was 20-something years ago, is that the rumor was Alex was asking for like a merchandise tent and all this extra stuff, and the Mets were like, listen, I don't need to have 24 players and then you. But Alex said that didn't happen, and it didn't happen in Texas, didn't happen with the Yankees, so it does seem like it might have been something that was made up. But that's what I'm thinking of, like what extra, like Toronto must know. Listen, I'm the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm not even in the United States, all right? I'm not a team that has a history of winning over the last 3 decades. What extra can I entice him with besides paying him the most money? But that also suggests that it's something other than money. I don't know. I don't think it's anything other than money. I don't think Juan Soto needs a merchandise tent. I don't think Juan Soto wants a seat at the table to be the general manager. I just think he wants to be the highest paid player. And these conversations are probably like, are you going to, there's a guy in New York that's got sitting on a ton of money. You're going to be able to dance with him. Otherwise, don't waste my time. And if they say yes, okay, we'll get back to you. And then the Yankees, all the Yankees want to know is, please promise me that whatever you're offered, you'll come back and ask us if we can match it. I'm sure that's what they're curious about. Those are the conversations I think that are happening here.
Now, according to Jeff Passan, this is the order. Blue Jays have the first meeting this week. Red Sox are next, then the Mets and the Yankees. And we'll see who goes after that.
Now, maybe it's just a question. All right, so how much are you worth?
Well, how much do you want to pay me? They're not going to ask him how much are you worth.
Well, but just meaning, but that kind of answers the question, right? Like, he probably knows how much Steve Cohen is worth. He might not have an intimate knowledge of how much Rogers pulls in. Like, are they going to be able to pay me what I want? What are they worth? If they're not worth that much, then they're not going to be able to pay me what I want.
Yeah, but Scott Boras knows exactly what every owner's worth.
I would think so.
And what every team makes. So, again, that's why I say it's unseemly for a guy who handled himself with such grace all year to be doing this, lotto thing now, lottery, where people have to do it, put their top hat on and cane and dance in front of them. It's just,
but like you said, you're only in this situation, once in your life. Like Soto might have another contract at the end of his career.
Well, when he opts out.
But this is the big time. Like, for all of LeBron James bouncing around, Michael, it never got bigger than when he first left Cleveland to go to Miami. The decision and all. It never got bigger than that. And to some players, this is where you really get to find out what you're worth and to be seduced. So maybe there's something intoxicating about that. But I can understand your view. It does seem unseemly. We know what you want. We'll make the offers. Why do I have to dance for you, too? Isn't it good enough that I'm going to hand you more money than any baseball player has ever made in this world or any other? But I got to now dance. I got to dance it to the table? Please.
He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
No, I don't think that's outrageous.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I just don't see it.
Honestly, I don't know how Yankee fans would admit, but there is no way right now you could feel good about him coming back. I'm not saying he's not going to, but Michael, Peter, what information have you gotten? What indication at all that makes me feel good that he's coming back?
Well, you heard his warm and fuzzy comments after the season. Oh, just kidding. There were none of those.
Well, the only thing that I think a Yankee fan would say is, well, we're the New York Yankees. Why would he leave? But I think that's been debunked by just the things that he said and who his agent is. Now, maybe that does happen. And he just decided, I can't leave here, but that can't be the way you'd bet.
Let's go to Alan in Morristown.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
How are you guys? I love your show. and I think you're all great and love listening to you. Listen, I think he's not going to one of the clubs that you're all thinking about.
You're thinking Washington.
I'm thinking Washington. I'm thinking even Houston. Like, I think tax is going to be a consideration for him. You could say no, but I'm telling you, he's going to want to go someplace for a long period of time where he pays a little less tax. I think he's going to think about it. Houston's a great club. Think about, and he wants to be the biggest fish in the sea. He doesn't want to be with Judge, and I don't know that he wants to be on the Mets. For all that we're talking about the Mets, I don't see it. I think he wants to be somewhere where he is the guy. And somehow I don't think it's any of the clubs that we're talking about.
Why he would be the man with the Mets? So what would be the problem there? What are you not seeing with the Mets?
He's not going to be just the man with the man. He wasn't the man with the Yankees. Come on, Don, that's not true.
But Alan, if he's the man wherever he goes, right? He's not going to be the man in Houston. Jose Altuve's a legend there. Not going to be the man there.
Well, but Altuve's getting a little old.
He just signed a 5-year contract.
Okay, but not a 12-year contract.
Oh, but you only have Judge for 7 more years.
But who on the Mets would be bigger? That would be in the same stratosphere with Soto?
I don't know. You know, they have a lot of great players. I mean,
so does Houston. So does all.
But Alan, we keep hearing Scott Boras say he wants to be in a team that wins. If he's going to be the only star on the team, and we thank you for the call, then he's not going to win. You're going to have other stars with you. And from everything that I could see with my own eyes and things that I've heard, he and Judge got along famously.
But anywhere he goes, besides, Judge isn't going to be here forever. If he signs a 13-year contract, Michael, there could be a
6
good
years.
7-8 years
Right.
post-Judge where he could be the man. And who would be the man with the man? I mean, Lindor's a great player. Alonso's probably gone. You're telling me Juan Soto wouldn't be the man anywhere he went?
Except L.A.
Except L.A. I agree with, but he was like, I wouldn't see him going to the Mets. He wants to be the man. He'd be the man with the Mets. And I'm not talking about the Mets because I'm a fan, Michael, but like he dismissed, like, why would he go to the Mets? Why not? If the Mets yell for him more money, that's exactly where he's going to go.
Well, one thing that we should stop doing, though, and we've got maybe another 3 weeks of talking about this, let's not try to think outside the box. It's going to come down to money, not whether he's the man or not.
Right.
And Houston does not spend that much money on players. The biggest contract they ever gave out was to Altuve. They've lost players because of that. They let George Springer go.
Oh, yeah.
And they still have to sign Alex Bregman. They are not coming up with that kind of money. That's not how Jim Crane operates.
Well, and also, Michael, if there is a smidge less, then it could be to a place where taxes come into being. But taxes are a problem in New York. Taxes are a problem in California. Taxes are certainly a problem in Canada. How are they in Massachusetts?
Bad. Taxes are really bad in Massachusetts.
So really, the only place is Florida and Texas. That's why I think the Rays probably threw their hat in the ring, because the money's probably worth more. So if he ended up going to the Rays for a little bit less, it might be because there are no taxes. But in New York, in Los Angeles, in Canada, in Boston, it's going to just be who gives them the highest amount of dollars.
Sometimes, I mean, sometimes I go back and forth. In one sense, I get it. You're making so much money, the taxes are like a big deal. And then, I don't know if you feel the same way, Don. And then sometimes I'm like, really? You're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're acting as if, like, well, if I go to Texas, I could save a few bucks, so I could really live the life I want to live.
You know what? It's a great point. It's a super point, especially when you consider the fact that it's not really about the dollars in your pocket. It's just about how much money the contract says.
Yeah, but
it's the sexiness of this is how much I get paid.
I think you're being somewhat naive, Peter. Because
I mean,
the richest people in this country are living in Florida now. For what reason? They like the heat?
Because they're cheap bastards.
But that's right. The richest people are the cheapest people. They don't want to pay taxes.
But I hear that. I understand there's a lot of money attached to it. I'm just saying, to me, it's so wild as a pro athlete. If you have a chance to get a $600 million contract, you wouldn't rather play for a better organization, or one that gives you a chance, or one that's in a really cool place to live, because you're just like, I need an extra $40 million over the contract.
Well, I think what Don said is accurate. If it's close, he'll go to the team with, that has no taxes.
Right, but what I'm saying is, and maybe I'm wrong, I'll never know what it's like to get offered this kind of money. I feel like it's all so much money. If it's close, I'd go to the better place to be.
I got you.
You know, either a better team, a more fun place to live.
We'll come back. We'll take your phone calls on this and many other things as well. It's Caitlin Greco, Rosenberg, and you on Yes and 880 ESPN.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com in more than 80 stores worldwide.
Here we go. They're following us.
This is all it's here.
Idiot.
The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Now, get 3.39% APR financing for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Nets and more of your local teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Did you get the Duracell batteries?
What's it matter? Batteries are all the same. Incorrect. Only Duracell is built different with Power Boost ingredients inside. Power Boost ingredients are a unique blend of nickel and lithium. No other batteries have them. Power Boost.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got Nets.
You coming?
This land is your land.
This land we love belongs to all of us. Yet not everyone is treated equally. Right now, millions of Americans are fighting for the things promised to all by the Constitution. Learn how the ACLU is defending the right to vote, free speech, and other civil liberties at myaclu.org.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on a new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the Season of Audi Sales event.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
The hottest ticket in town just got a holiday makeover. That's right, we're unboxing unbeatable values for your home every Friday in November. We're talking beautiful bedroom sets, dining sets in multiple heights and shapes, best-selling mattresses, feature-packed power sofas, pop-up sleeper sofas for hundreds less than other national retailers, decor and more, all at wow-worthy prices. I think we sufficiently wowed him. So check back every Friday for a new unboxing, because every day is like Black Friday when you dare to compare at Bob's. Ow.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy.
He does exist.
They do exist. Santa?
If you're an asbestos victim, pay close attention. Billions of dollars are being paid out to people like you. We should know. We're Whites in Luxembourg, the law firm that already won over $9 billion for men and women just like you. That's right, over $9 billion for mesothelioma sufferers and their families. We know you're short of money, and we know you're short of time, so we fight hard. Call Whites in Luxembourg at 917-LAWYERS. That's 917-LAWYERS. Whites in Luxembourg, winning big for the little guy.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on a new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the Season of Audi Sales event.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Tomorrow night on Yes, the Nets return home to Barclays Center to face the defending champion Celtics. They took them to overtime last week in Boston. Can they pick up a win at home tomorrow? We'll just have to tune in and find out. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 7, followed by opening tip a little after 7:30. It's the Nets and Celtics. Tomorrow night, coverage starting at 7 right here on Yes, and streaming, of course, on the Gotham Sports app.
Food Bank for New York on Tuesday, November 19th. That's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Mets team store. Free parking will be available in lots B and D. Now, due to off-season construction, there will be no vehicle access on Seaver Way. Fans can access lots B and D through Gate 8 at Shea Road and Boat Basin Place. Fans donating at least 10 non-perishable items receive a voucher for 2 tickets to a select Mets home game in 2025. Visit Mets.com/food drive to see a complete list of foods needed. So there's a little bit of a burgeoning story that's out there. Fox did its broadcast on Sunday to honor Veterans Day. I believe it was at a base, a military base, and they were playing the national anthem. So all of the hosts had their hands across their heart, except for Michael Strahan, who has hands crossed in front of him, like he had it down around his belt and his hands crossed, but standing straight and looking at the flag. And people are going nuts that he disrespected the flag. Now, I love this country, everything that this country has done for me and my family. And there are times that I don't stand for the national anthem with my hand on my heart. I don't think that's a thing that says whether or not you are respecting or disrespecting. I stand straight up. My hands are usually clasped behind my back, and I'm staring and I'm singing the national anthem. That's how I consume it. I can't believe that people are going nuts on Michael Strahan.
Michael, we live in a country full of frauds. This is insane. Michael Strahan is the child of a veteran. I think a Marine. I think his father's a 23-year Marine. It's absolutely insane. They showed him for like 1 second, and he was standing straight, but didn't have his hand on his heart. We're not 5-year-olds doing the pledge. As long as you're standing, I'm sorry, no one has room to say anything. Does anyone call out all the people getting their hot dogs during the national anthem? Like it's just ridiculous and inconsistent. And to Strahan, of all people, who's never done anything to make you think a thing, it just shows people will look for any reason to go after anyone.
Like if he was sitting while they were standing, okay, let's talk. The guy was standing up, his hands clasped in front of him, and looking at the flag. I don't get the outrage. Where is it ever written that you have to have your hand across your heart as you're singing the national anthem? So you could sing the national anthem, and if you don't have your hand across your heart, you're disrespecting the flag? I don't get it. I don't understand that thinking. I mean, again, somebody's kneeling, somebody doesn't show up. As Peter just so expertly said, you go to a stadium, you go to Madison Square Garden. People are getting to their seat or they're online at the concession stand while this is going on. Do you go crazy over that? Instead, they're making Michael Strahan out to be this evil presence. Now, if I'm Michael Strahan, I might address this. He didn't address it today on Good Morning America, and there's reports that he snapped at somebody that was outside his house who asked him about it. Maybe he thinks, and he might be right, I don't have anything to defend. I didn't do anything wrong. Because on Veterans Day, he actually tweeted out a picture of his dad, his hero, in his uniform. So, I mean, this is this to me, it's a little much ado about nothing.
It is amazing that like history and lineage and all that doesn't matter. It's 10 seconds on video of him not, having his hand on his heart.
Do you put your hand on your heart every time there's a national anthem?
I try to, but I was just thinking about this. Like if I'm calling a Ranger game, and if they put a camera on me and Dave during the anthem, you will see Dave takes his headset off, and he has his hand on his heart. A Canadian, by the way. And honoring the flag because he's a tremendous human being. I don't have that luxury. I've got to keep my headset on because I'm being talked to back at the studio. I've got to.
You're a communist.
I have to immediately do a read after the anthem. So sometimes I'm holding the paper that I've got to read as soon as the anthem is over. So if you glanced over at me for 15 seconds, you would go, "What's Don doing? He's talking on his headset, and meanwhile Dave is got his headsets off and he's got his hand on his heart. So Dave is obviously more patriotic than Don. No, I've got a bunch of things I've got to do. I usually have my hand on my heart, and then as they're closing it out, I've got to put the headsets back on. I've got to scramble because as soon as that anthem's over, I got to mention who sang the anthem. I've got to read before they drop the puck. I've got to give the starting goaltender. So there's things I got to do. I don't know
Don,
what was happening at that particular moment. Well, I guess
Thank you for laying it out for everyone.
The only thing I ever learned when I was a kid growing up in public school in New York is you put your hand on your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance.
I never was told you have to have your hand on your heart for the national anthem. I've never heard that. I mean, Michael Strahan doesn't need to be felt sorry for. He's certainly got a lot going on, all in the positive vein. But wow, to be this villain, I see people on Twitter like cursing at him. I mean, just unbelievable.
Like big people like Michelle Tafoya destroyed him on Twitter.
Michelle Tafoya did that? Oh, that's shameful. She should be ashamed of herself. That is really insane, man.
But it's such an overreaction to.
And also, why do other people get to choose what someone else's patriotism looks like? How does Michelle Tafoya get to choose what Michael Strahan's patriotism looks like? How? What do you know about his life? Obviously not a lot.
Now, obviously, you look at it, and it seems strange that the other four individuals have their hand on their heart. Like, why didn't he?
Why is that strange? They're different humans.
But why is the default that he's a communist and he hates the country instead of, that's curious, but now who cares?
Guys, I've been to a lot of football games. I've been to a lot of football games, a lot of baseball games, a lot of everything. The percentage of people I've been with who stand up, take off their hat, and then put their hand on their heart like it's the pledge is a low number. And
also, why don't you look at all the football players standing on the field? They all, most of them have their hands on their heart. I remember I went to a game late in the season. I took Charlie, and they're playing the national anthem, and I looked at him, and he had his hand on his heart. And I got all welled up and isn't that sweet? But still, I had my hands behind my back. Doesn't mean I have less respect, but for some reason, he has his hand on his heart, and I'm standing straight up, and I've got my hand behind my back. But I don't get it where everybody gets to be the arbiter of what you're about.
But I'm looking at the picture, and they all happen to do hand on the heart, and he's standing very respectfully with his hands crossed in front of him.
Right.
It's insane. But, Michael, sometimes the answer is bad guy. Didn't a wise man once say that?
You mean, but everybody jumping him is a bad guy, or are they just looking for something to, like, be that guy?
Same thing. They're having a that guy moment.
They don't like Michael for whatever reason, and so they saw an opportunity to jump him. Like, really, why would you care? Has Michael Strahan ever, and we covered him here in New York, ever felt like that he was un-American, disrespectful to his country, said anything controversial against the country? I don't know. Has he ever made a political statement? I don't know. I never noticed it, if he did. So why would anybody have it out for him?
It's weird. Well, maybe he's too successful, so it's time. People think it's time to bring him down.
Or just people are just like hunting for this garbage, and most of the people that are doing it, like Peter said, would probably not know what's going on in the anthem because they're shoveling nachos down their throat, or they're waiting online for nachos, or decided at this moment I'm going to go use the bathroom.
I think it's very clear that we have different standards of what being patriotic looks like, and that being your standard is bizarre.
Let's go to Tori in Brooklyn. Tori.
Hey, how's it going, Michael?
Good.
Peter, Don. I just had a quick question. I'm not trying to. You know more about baseball than I ever do, so just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But I guess I don't understand why you're so angry or oppressed, or you don't get it that these teams, that Juan Soto wants these teams to meet with him, or you view it as dancing. He can do whatever he wants.
Of course.
He's the player.
You're absolutely right.
So it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. Even if he said, I want you to travel to Germany, leave to Germany, and then catch a flight back to L.A., and that's only who I'm talking to, he can say whatever he wants. Now, they don't have to agree to it.
Yeah, but they do.
I don't think we should.
But, Tori, I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. But what does he need to do it for? All they have to do, who's offering him the most money? What's the deal?
But he could.
Yeah, I know he can do whatever he wants, but don't you think it looks a little weird?
No, that's what I'm saying. Even if that's something that I wouldn't do, if that's what he wants and that's what he feels, it doesn't matter. That's he can.
We have no argument. We have no disagreement at all, Tori. He can do whatever he wants, and you know what? We thank you for the call. He's doing exactly that.
Listen, someone, guy who works in my building who's a big Yankee fan, was talking about it with me yesterday, and he said it's sort of like if someone was, you went to go see a house that you wanted to buy, and you already saw it, and then the owner says, hey, you know what, come by again, it's really out of the way, it's really hard, but I want to talk to you in person, please come see me. And you're like, but I already saw the house, I did everything. But the bottom line is, if you know you want that house, you're not going to let the owner get in your way. And if they really want Juan Soto, I would highly suggest and imagine you don't let your pride get in the way. It's annoying. It's kind of stupid, but if you think you need the guy, you need the guy.
And that's why they're all going.
And he's a great teammate once you have him. It's not like he acts like that day to day.
But what I would say to the caller is, just because he can do it doesn't mean he should, or that it's right to do. It's kind of unnecessary, especially for the Yankees. What are the Yankees going to tell him that he doesn't already know? He spent the last year with the Yankees. So it was 162 games plus the postseason. What does Hal have to tell him that he doesn't already know? Like some of these places, maybe he doesn't know what it's like, what the neighborhoods are in Toronto, and maybe he wants to check out where he's going to live. All right, that makes sense.
Now, Boone is going there too, right? He spent every day, essentially every day, since February 21st until the end of the World Series, the end of October, with Aaron Boone. He knows how Aaron Boone manages, how he interacts with his players, everything. He knows everything about Aaron Boone. Why is Aaron Boone going? Because they want to show the love. They want to bend the knee. They're all bending the knee. But what it comes down to, in my opinion, bending the pen. Who's going to give him the biggest offer?
Right.
And as Tori said, he has the right for asking anything he wants. He can ask for anything.
Because let me ask you this, Michael. Is there a world in which the Yankees offer $60 million a year and the Mets offer $55, and he goes to the Mets because Hal didn't make the trip to California to talk to him? No. That world does not exist.
No. I will come back, take more phone calls. Big 6 o'clock hour coming up as well. Michael, Don, and Peter with you here on Yes and 880 ESPN.
Well, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell.
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents? My 2 cents? Here's my 2 cents. I'm planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, you can drink that.
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
When you order Domino's online, we'll give you a free pizza to use for a future pizza emergency. a free pizza when you need it most. Get your emergency pizza when you order Domino's online.
There you go. Thank you. Bye.
Dinner's ready.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
What if you went to your secret hiding place and found this? All drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, know that you can quit. For help with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
'Twas the night before Spriteness when Santa Claus came. Sprite Winter Spice Cranberry was the name of his game, and they heard him exclaim as he peeked out of sight.
Merry Spriteness to all, and to all the good Sprite.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Here we go. They're following us.
This is awesome.
Giddy up. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Now, get 3.39% APR financing for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Get an all-wheel drive Santa Fe for 1.99% APR for up to 72 months or lease for $269 a month. Hurry in.
Welcome to the Warehouse, home of Blitzball Battle 5, where the big leagues meet the backyard. Pro athletes and some not pro athletes. Hearts on the line. Games that matter just enough.
Time to the final.
Blitzball Battle 5 premieres November 4th. Watch all year round on Warehouse Games YouTube.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
You got a minute?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
John and Peter with you until 6:30. Then Dan Grassa takes over for a short show before the Knicks, and the Rangers are on 10:50. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Eric in Bayonne. Eric.
Hey, Michael, Don, and Peter. If you guys will allow me, I just wanted to make a quick comment on national anthem conversation. Sure. So I'm a Devils season ticket holder, so I see that national anthem 2 to 3 times a week, and I've always been under the impression it's hands in front of you and you stand at attention. Last year, I actually brought my mom down to FedEx Field. She's a huge Washington fan, and she tried to correct me, telling me I have to put my hand on my heart. I have the same conversation with her that Peter just mentioned. That's a pledge of allegiance thing to me. That's not a national anthem. For the anthem, you stand at attention, you give it the respect it deserves, and really the only cliche for that is you have to remove your headwear, but that they always make that comment before the anthem anyway.
Right.
That's right. Please remove your hats. Nobody says put it on your heart, although a lot of people do that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting your hand or your
knock
hat
yourself
on your
out
heart.
if that's your thing.
But it doesn't make you a bad person if you don't. Thank you, Eric. It doesn't make you a bad person if you don't. But they're trying to make Michael Strahan out to be this evil person. Now, he has not said if he was trying to make any kind of a statement.
Well, of course he wasn't.
Right.
It's a ridiculous thought. My thought is the other guys probably just saw each other do it.
And also they were on a military base where all the soldiers are doing it probably.
Or maybe the soldiers are too. But can we just be honest? The other guy's doing it, and I don't have anything wrong with it. They're doing it for the optic. I'm sorry. You're telling me every time Terry Bradshaw hears it, he always... Maybe he does, but maybe he doesn't. The bottom line is the four did it because they thought of it, and they're on camera, and I get it. Strahan, obviously in the moment, maybe, you know what? It was a Veterans Day show. Maybe he was thinking about his father.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't thinking about the optic of being on TV. He just thought... He was having a moment, actually thinking about the thing itself.
Based on where he was standing, too, and what he was looking at, the optics of, like, all the soldiers, he might not even have noticed that they had their hands
Not at all.
Like, maybe if he noticed, like, this looks odd, I'm the only one not doing it, I should do it. But maybe he was paying attention to the song. Maybe he was honoring it the true way that it was supposed to be, thinking about his dad, thinking about all the sacrifices that veterans make. But, again, we're a world of optics. Because that's the only thing that we can see in a 10-second video. And because we live in a world where you have to have an opinion one way or the other, it's so much easier and gets such a reaction. All this is social media. We wouldn't have gotten one phone call on it, Michael. Nobody is talking about this out. This all was a viral video in the cesspool that's social media. Why are we even surprised?
Let's go to Pete in Syracuse. Hello, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Peter.
No,
He's there. I could hear him.
No.
Wow.
So that's unfortunate.
It's awful. Let's go to Anthony in Fairlawn.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
I actually think the Juan Soto thing is less about Juan Soto's ego and more about Scott Boras. And I actually think it's a way that Scott Boras gets the next Juan Soto. He goes to these young players and he tells them, hey, look what I can do. I can make these owners and these GMs jump through hoops. I can make them do whatever they want. Sign with me. I'll get you money. I'll get you fame. I'll get you whatever I want. And also, Peter, I think you should have point God because you said a throwaway line, which is that what's the big deal? Soto is not a D-bag once he gets there. He's a good guy and he's a good teammate.
Exactly. He literally did everything that you want, right? Hits monster home runs, puts his head down, runs around the bases, supportive of his teammates, never said a bad thing all year long, didn't cause extra controversy or attention.
What I will say whenever we want to blame the agent, in this case Scott Boras, for what happens, Boras works for Soto. Because Soto could just say, no, I'm not going to just have these guys fly all over the place. So, yeah, it probably is Boras's idea, and it probably is for the benefit of Scott. But Juan doesn't have to do it, Michael. He doesn't work for Scott Boras.
Yeah, but
it's the other way around.
I get it, and I understand that. But I do also think that it becomes a collaborative thing. They're in it together. He's known him since he was 16 years old, so I think he trusts him implicitly. But what the caller said has some validity to it. I mean, it's a flex. It's a major flex. Look how I can get all these billionaires to dance for me. Watch. Let's do it for fun. Because anything that they can do by flying out to California, they can do on Zoom. They could. And really, if you're really investigating what something's all about, aren't you flying to that city to see that city, to see where you live? Well, because you know the money's going to be there. Because if they're in the bidding, they've got the money to offer you all the. They know exactly what the baseline is. So you should be going to Toronto. You should be going to Philly. You should be going to all the places that you haven't lived to see where you would live. That makes more sense than having them traipse out to California.
You know what? But you know what these trips do, Michael? Makes it believable when he has his dog and pony show press conference for whoever he signs with. Right. Give you all the reasons why he signed there that's not about money. And it makes it believable because, hey, I went to these places. I sat down with Toronto. I heard about their future. I love the city. And it makes it believable because you did go there. But we all know the real reason why you're going to sign wherever you sign. But they always have the press conference, Michael, as if it's believable. Oh, I signed with the Yankees because my father's favorite player was Mickey Mantle. Or I signed here because it's got great schools.
Well, the NBA Cup is back. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Any NBA play can inspire your next hunch. And with 3 months of NBA League Pass from FanDuel, you're about to get a whole lot more inspiration. So if you think they're going to rock the rim right out of the gates, hello, or you want to RSVP to the block party, there he is. Yes, sir. Or you think it's going to start raining threes. Let's go! FanDuel has more ways to bet on players so you can make your hunches happen. Right now, new customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Plus, all customers get 3 months of NBA League Pass on us. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Well, if you want my 2 cents on interest rates, we got options.
My 2 cents. This one's priced to sell. My 2 cents.
My 2 cents?
My 2 cents.
My 2 cents.
My 2 cents? Here's my 2 cents. I'm planning for the future. Interest plus interest equals more interest. Come on, man. You can get that.
Hi, Joan. Perfect timing. I have a few questions.
Of course. Let's look at your plan.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
This winter, when you find yourself looking at this, don't do this, or this. When it comes to snow, go with Snow Joe, the #1 brand of cordless snowblowers. With ultra-powerful Ion Plus lithium-ion technology. Snow Joe's cordless snow shovels and blowers are the lightweight, cordless way to clear walkways, driveways, decks, steps, sidewalks, and yards.
So I've been using the Snow Joe products for several years now. I'm very happy and excited with the way that they work. I also have a battery-powered snowblower, which works amazing.
This handy grab-and-go snow shovel weighs less than 14 pounds, yet clears up to 300 pounds of snow per minute, throws up to 20 feet away with up to 70 minutes of runtime per charge. Got a bigger clearing job to handle? Forget about gas. Cut the cord and go with Joe. This 48-volt Snow Joe cordless blower clears over 10 tons of snow in 30 minutes on a single charge, about the weight of 5 pickup trucks. You only get that kind of power with Snow Joe's exclusive 24-volt Ion Plus battery technology with EcoSharp power management, driving a heavy-duty rubber-tipped steel blade auger that shreds snow without scratching the pavement and with 0 emissions. Best of all, it starts like this. Listen to how quiet it is.
After years of shoveling snow with a traditional manual shovel, my search led me to Snow Joe's cordless battery-operated snowblowers. Ended up being one of the absolute best purchases that I have ever made. Both me and my lower back, thank you.
Call now to order your Snow Joe today with prices starting at just $199.99. Or go online to snowjoeontv.com and pay as low as $19 a month. Order now and get 2 free gifts, a premium 3-year warranty, plus free shipping. A total savings of over $100.
Call 1-800-238-3495 or go online to snowjoeontv.com.
Peter.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Late
deserved
show
it.
too, which means it was really good.
Late.
Because they had to abandon the 4 or 5 others they were thinking about.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they just punted today.
Maybe they just forgot until you said that. Oh, that's a point guard.
That is a serious allegation.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's true.
Right. We're just considering all options, Donnie.
It's crazy because Don LaGreca had one prior to that one.
Oh, no.
And it was about Aaron Rodgers, and I thought, that was pretty good. But once you went with America, we can't stand against America.
That's true.
Yeah, because we love America.
Love America.
Don doesn't. Don loves Canada more. It's weird.
I never said that once.
It's simply
What
not
did he
true.
say, Peter? What did he say?
I'd love being Canadian.
He said,
Well, that means that you love being Canadian more than being American.
No, that's a leap that you've decided to take. I never said that. I said I love being Canadian. Never said that I didn't love being American or that I'd love being Canadian more than American. I'm just saying that I would love being Canadian.
There'd be no problem with it.
No, that's
I hear him.
the way you're phrasing it is different, Peter. I have no problem with being Canadian. It's different than I want to be a Canadian. I love.
That's not what I said.
He didn't. But no, see, that's what you can't do. You can't change the words that he said.
I said I'd love being Canadian.
I'd love being Canadian.
Right.
Which means if
That
you were
doesn't mean-
Canadian, you wouldn't be American.
That doesn't mean.
Listen, I'll interpret it the way I
But
please.
if I happened to be born in Canada instead of the United States, I would not have a problem.
He'd love
with being Canadian.
He'd be
I
all
love
says he
being
loves
Canadian.
Canada.
Yeah, there's
All
some
of a sudden
problems
you
in
want him to
Canada
defect.
too. You know.
I refuse to do what you're doing to my friend Michael. Who are you, Michelle Tafoya? Get off Don's back.
All right, let's go to Carol in Buffalo.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Carol.
I'm glad to be able to speak with you. I have two things.
Okay.
The first of all, I really admire your honesty in taking a stand for truth. It really sets well with me.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate that. And you have a great show. I enjoy listening to you guys going back and forth at one another. Sometimes I have to just walk away. And the second thing I want to say to you, Michael, is the other night you made a statement that really, really touched me because I've done this so many times and people laugh at me. You made a statement that why do these guys have to act the way they do after they score a touchdown or they make a good play? They stand there and they beat their chest like, look at me, look what I did. And I say to myself, and I say out loud, and I say it in front of my family, and they look at me like I'm nuts. What the hell? That's what you're getting paid to do. Why do you have to act like this?
Well, the thing that I don't love, Judy, and thank you for the kind words and thank you for the phone call. I don't like the orchestrated celebrations. I just don't, because it's not organic. It's not real. You know, I've always seen when people say, "Well, pitchers could act crazy on the mound because it's organic." It's really, if it is organic, a lot of them plan all of it. But I think you should be able to celebrate when you score a touchdown. I don't think you have to point for a first down every single time.
I think it's entertaining, some plays, you know?
No, I get that, but do you like them running the length of the field on a
No,
defensive?
I don't.
That's the stuff I hate.
No, but like...
I thought the guy doing the
break
dance was really clever.
I got to tell you, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and he nailed it exactly how it was done.
He really did.
By Ray
He
Gun.
really did. Oh, yeah. You know Ray Gun.
Of course, who doesn't?
Am I wrong to have not known her until after the Olympics?
No.
I didn't know it existed during the Olympics.
Well, during the Olympics, you didn't know? Yeah, you're wrong. You're an
You didn't catch it
embarrassment.
during the Olympics at all? Even like after it happened?
No. Well, after it happened, then I started to catch wind of it. Did not see it in action.
It was a random breakdancing event in the middle of a breaking event on a random like Thursday afternoon. No, why would you expect
Okay,
it?
but it wasn't until after the fact. Michael's saying I'm wrong.
No, you said till after you changed it mid-sentence. I said you were wrong when you said you didn't know until after the Olympics were over. It became a thing after she did it.
Yeah, like within a day.
No, I didn't know it until
Well, you
after.
got to get out more.
Well, I'm good. I don't care about it.
It was pretty good.
I watched it, and then I see it, like there's something on social media, like I guess the touchdown celebration in Detroit, they did it, and I'm like, I don't care.
To me,
Good for her. I mean, but
no, there are people who are offended by it.
Why?
Because she was making kind of a mockery of the whole thing, this like event that people had worked really hard to get.
Oh,
and then
I don't even know that.
Well, yeah, the story is kind of like she essentially took all the funding that was for the Australian team and like rather than it going to someone who might have been deserving, she went, and she clearly wasn't qualified or good enough to be there. But as someone who was watching it live and didn't know what was happening, it was singularly among the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I've never, Michael, I didn't know. I'm watching live.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a bit.
I'm watching live. I was on vacation in Miami with Natalie. I'm like, this is cool. The breaking event. I've been looking forward to seeing this. And she starts, and I'm like, what is happening? So I know people were offended, but to me, the funny was so intense that I'll never be mad about it.
Let's go to Mark in Binghamton. Hello, Mark.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Peter, first of all, Peter, congratulations, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
I became a first-time grandfather 6 months ago, so you know
Congrats.
you got a lot to look forward to.
Thank you so much, man.
Just regarding, also first-time caller. Thanks for taking my call. Love you guys.
Thanks.
National anthem. That topic. Just real quick. The way I'm 69 years old, but the way I was brought up, military salute during that. Civilians, in a way of saluting, put their hand on their heart or take their cap off and put their
I'm
cap
curious,
on their
who
heart.
taught you that, Mark?
You know what? I got to tell you, I don't know. I can't say, oh, gee, that came from my dad or that came from, school, grade school or whatever. I guess maybe, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I think the fact that he stood there with his hands either in front of him or like you, Michael, behind your back, I think, is respect enough. But, I just was saying...
People, listen, that's the way you were brought up, so I appreciate that that's the way, you were taught to do it. But I thought I was brought up pretty well, and... I went to public school, and I was told you put your hand over your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance, and you stand up straight during the national anthem. I mean, the hand over the heart to me is complete. And, on a military base, I believe that during the national anthem, our military personnel don't have their hand over their heart. They salute.
Right. That's what he said.
Yeah, they salute. So, I mean, it wasn't like the Fox guys were copying the military personnel. I just don't understand the uproar over that. Makes him like the she-devil of the world. I mean, what's going on?
Well, listen, there's some people will tell you all these things about what it is to be patriotic, the ways you have to respect the flag. And then you see people who wave flags they take the American flag and turn it to something completely different, with different images on it and different colors and different this. People wear the American flag as a bikini. They you know what I mean? Like, there's no consistency. People just pick who they like and don't like. And then turn it into a political issue, and really it's more like a personal vendetta against someone they're interested in attacking.
Demetrius in Virginia. Demetrius.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking my call, guys. Just a couple of things. This is Demetrius from Virginia by way of Staten Island. You probably remember I called him once before. Now, I come from a family of 7 boys and 3 girls. We were raised that you respect the flag and you put your hand over your heart. That's what we did. But in school, we did the same thing. But we never disrespected. That's not disrespecting the flag with your hands down. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was Soto. Look, New York is the greatest town for sports. And I look at it this way. The Yankees should not continue to play around with this. Set a date, like you said, Michael, and move on from it. Use that money to fill in and plug all the other holes instead of messing around with Soto. Because this is really ridiculous.
Well, you don't want Soto back, though?
I would love to have him back. He's the best hitter in baseball, but I would put a timeline on it.
I think that's what they'll do, Demetrius. I think that's what they'll do. And I think that's the only way to approach this.
And the last thing, if I may.
Yep.
The last thing, if I may. I called in a few months ago. You guys was going to get back to me. I told you I left Staten Island to start my broadcast in Corinne, Virginia. And somebody gave me the wrong email when you guys put me on hold, so I couldn't email my information.
Well, let's get you on hold again and get the right email. Let's do it that way. So, obviously, the person who gave you the wrong email is going to have to be investigated.
Yeah, we got to dig in.
Yeah, there's something that can't be accepted. Stephen in Pennsylvania. Stephen.
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Good.
Appreciate you taking the call.
Got it.
Good show so far. Appreciate being a part of it. So I wanted to call in response to the caller way earlier in the show about his gripe with Cashman for saying some feckless things about Jeter. I think that there's valid arguments to criticize Cashman, but I don't think it's about things that he says. And I think, to borrow a phrase, I think he's got cubes. So
sometimes
what I want to call about is agreed. Especially, it's tough watching what I want to say about Cashman. A lot of players, and I don't even have to go back very far, play out of position. I just made a list here. We had Glaber experiment at shortstop. IKF playing shortstop and outfield as a Gold Glove third baseman. We have DJ playing everywhere but second, which is his best. We put Carpenter in the outfield to get his bat in the lineup. We got Jazz playing third base. When we put the Martian in briefly this year, we had him in left instead of center. We got Judge playing center instead of right. We had Andahar in the outfield instead of playing third base, and instead of trading him. And we were stuck with that albatross of Josh Donaldson because the money has to be on the field. That also brings me to, we got brand name guys like Trent Grisham that don't see a lot of time. So,
but let me. I can't address every single. I can't address every single one. But let me ask you this, right? You still there? Oh
no.
Where would you play Trent Grisham? Would you bench Aaron Judge? Would you not play Aaron Judge every day so Trent Grisham could see some daylight? I mean, the way the Yankees operate, obviously they operate more so on offense than defense. So they will play people out of position. They think the bat's going to help them. And you're complaining about DJ LeMahieu playing all over. He won a Gold Glove for being a utility infielder. That he can play everywhere and play it very, very well. Those players are very, very valuable. You made some valid points. Judge is playing out of position because Soto can't play left. So Judge is in center and Soto's in right. I get it. Would you not have done that? That would be my question if he was still on the line. Would you not have done that? Would you not have made the deal because you were going to play Judge in center? Of course you would have made the deal. So some of those deals there, they got IKF to play shortstop because they thought that his stuff would translate to shortstop, and they wanted a bridge until Anthony Volpe was ready. I'm not going to go over everything. Let Brian Cashman defend himself. But you're being a little picayune when they make these moves because they're more concerned about scoring runs than preventing run scoring. And it bit them in the fifth inning. It bit them in the fifth inning in the World Series. Jim in Pittsburgh. Jim.
Hey, guys. I have a McCarthy question and a Knicks question. Okay. But first, what really irks me about the national anthem, as these fans don't even take their hat off.
Yep. And some of them scream during it, Jim. They scream during it.
I scream at my TV. I was like, take your hat off, stupid. How hard is that?
Which is all the more reason it's so ridiculous that a guy standing there with his hands crossed in front of him and people would give him a hard time.
Right. First, the Knicks question. Are you concerned about the Knicks? They're 4-5. They're same record as the Nets. And, even though I think they made too many trades. And as far as McCarthy, I noticed, the Jets have the reunion with my ex-Raider wide receiver, Devontae Adams. How about Mike McCarthy going to the Jets? The Cowboys are going to get rid of
I don't think I'd want
Mike McCarthy.
I don't think I'd want Mike McCarthy. I know, Jim, I know he's won a Super Bowl.
Or to the Giants?
No.
Maybe to the Giants?
I think this might be Mike McCarthy's last head coaching job.
But, you wouldn't do it. But would Aaron Rodgers want it? Now, I know their relationship was kind of back and forth.
But you know what? The Jets should be disbanded if they allow Aaron Rodgers to pick their next coach.
I agree with you, but it does not mean it's not a reality.
Now, as for the Knicks, I'm not really concerned. It's still 9 games, and the biggest problem they have is that their bench is hurt. Campaign's still hurt. Precious Achiuwa is still hurt. When Robinson gets back, it's going to be a much better team, whether that's in December or January. So if the worst problem you have is your depth, you can improve your depth. Your depth is going to get better when you get healthier. Now, is it going to be the same depth as it was before they made the trade? No, because then the depth was going to be Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench. Now it's not going to be that. Now Josh Hart starts. DiVincenzo's in Minnesota. You've got Karl Anthony Towns as the center. They're hurting because you know what's happening? They're getting outscored by a lot in each and every game in the fourth quarter because the guys are exhausted. There's no bench. So does that concern me over the long haul? Yes, if it stayed that way, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. Guys will get better. Guys will get healthier, and then you'll have a deeper bench. And also, I mean, Don, Peter, you know, he plays his guys 36 minutes a game. That's what he does. Didn't affect him last year, did it?
Well, and Alan Hahn warned you of this at the beginning of the year. The Thibodeau teams get off to slow starts. I wouldn't be worried about it, but is it okay to say I'd kind of keep an eye on it just to see where this goes? You don't want to have to dig yourself too big of a hole. Now, listen, they're 4-5, but the only teams that are running away with it are Cleveland and Boston. But I don't think you have to win the division, Michael, to make a run in the playoffs. Just be healthy, be as good as you can be at the end of the season, and turn it around. I don't suspect that, Michael, 30, 40 games into the year, they're going to be under 500.
Let's go to Richard in Manhattan.
There you go.
Hi, Michael, Don, Peter. You know, I don't put my hand across my heart when I sing the national anthem, but what I do at least once or twice a month is wear my father's 1944 Marine jacket. It's an Eisenhower jacket. I wore it yesterday. It was the 80th anniversary. His hat and his Eisenhower jacket, green. He was a master sergeant in World War II.
That's a lovely gesture.
Went to the Philippines, so I wear that. Now, also, I hope this doesn't make me anti-American. I love the Canadian national anthem better than the American national anthem. I think it's fantastic.
Okay, it's preference. It's just a song.
I love the music to it. All right, fellas, 1 through 4. Give me who's coming back to New York. Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto.
That's, you know what? Good job. That's good.
I think Rodgers is 1. What was the second one again?
Daniel Jones,
Daniel Jones is 4.
Juan Soto.
The bottom one is the ones that definitely not coming back. So Daniel Jones not coming back. I think Pete Alonso is 3rd, and Juan Soto is 2nd. Would you agree, Don and Peter?
I think it's really good.
I might put Pete above. I put Pete above Soto.
Okay, but it's funny because if Soto doesn't, if he signs with the Mets, then Pete Alonso's not coming back.
You know what? Point God.
What do you guys think of Tiki Barber, general manager of the Giants?
What has he shown any aptitude for that?
What?
Well, he's a smart guy. University of Virginia, was a beloved football player. You know, Andy Robustelli and the guy from the Browns and then the Ravens, Ozzie Newsome.
What do you think about Evan Roberts being the third base coach for the Mets?
But
it's out of the box. I'm not sure.
It's not that crazy a thought. But what I would say is why do we just let these guys leap over?
Okay.
No, but I'm saying, like, Chris Drury's the general manager of the Rangers, right? He was the assistant general manager for a few years. Like, why do you go from the radio booth because you played and all of a sudden you become a general manager? Why not maybe become a scout for a little while, become an assistant general manager, work with an organization, and then become the general manager?
No, my point being,
I know he's smart. I know he played football, but
UVA, that's a pretty impressive.
I mean, a lot of people go to good schools.
One last thing, Don. I'm sorry.
17 more things.
One last thing. But what I do,
go ahead.
I had the Jet game on Sunday. Bob Wischusen was at his peak. There was one play, do you guys remember, where the refs called it no play, and the Jets tried to challenge it, and Wischusen was so funny. He's saying, how can you challenge a play that didn't occur? The referees are crazy, and the Jets are even crazier.
Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it.
I like it.
Boy, Richard loves himself some Bob Wischusen. I think he loves Bob more than Wendy does.
Can I have one listener?
Or Julie.
Can I have all the hours and hours of radio that I do every single day, which trounces the amount of content Bob puts out in the air? Can one person love me half as much as Richard loves Bob Wischusen? It's like he's a little schoolgirl.
It's unbelievable. He really does love himself some Weasel Schusen.
And the idea of Tiki as the GM, this is why you got to answer the calls.
Here.
I do put my hand on my heart, by the way, though, when Richard sings Frank Sinatra. That's the way I celebrate the country, Michael.
Ozzie Newsome retired in 1990. Hall of Famer. Inducted into the Hall of Fame, I believe, in 98. From 91 to 92, assignment scout, then assistant to the head coach, director of pro personnel, then goes to Baltimore. They moved to Baltimore, executive vice president, player personnel, and then became.
Wait a minute, Don. Wait 1 second. You don't think the resume of working at 1050 ESPN, teaming up with Brandon Tierney, then Evan Roberts, that doesn't equal what Ozzie Newsome did?
Hold on. Yeah, what do you say? Wait, what year did Newsome finally start as GM?
In 2002, so 12 years after
11 or 12 years. Yeah, but think about it. Tiki's been doing radio for about that same time. That to me seems that's about fair.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Tiki can't do the job.
No, but you got to do the work.
But do the work to get there. Like,
do we know if he even wants to do that?
I don't. I never heard that he. I'm sure if he put his mind to it, he'd probably be very good at it. But you don't jump from the radio booth to become general manager of the Giants and then save this mess. I'd like somebody a little bit more qualified. And Ozzie brought up Ozzie Newsome. It took Ozzie Newsome 12 years of other jobs.
He brought up the greatest, maybe one of the greatest GMs of all time.
Right.
Who did all the work to get there.
All the work.
Brennan in Neptune. Brennan.
Mike, Don, and Peter, thanks for having me on.
You got it.
Peter, congrats on the pregnancy. Just had my first child this year. It's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you. Wait, Brennan, how old's your little one?
He is going to be 9 months in a week.
Wow. Congrats, buddy.
Yeah, it's awesome. Mike, you just mentioned about people yelling during the national anthem. So just wondering all your takes, especially Don, about home games for the Rangers when, I don't know, it's like 75% through the national anthem, somebody yells out, let's go Rangers.
I believe that those people should be forcibly removed from the arena. I really do. It sickens me.
And
I mean, talk about a lack of respect to the anthem.
But it's amazing. Like in Dallas, they scream "Stars" when the star is sung. And when they say "Red" in Washington, everybody screams.
And
red.
they say "Oh" in Baltimore for the Orioles.
It is so disrespectful. You're right, Michael. But it just shows you just how people just don't really think.
The other things that you say, though, it's almost clever and cute because you're just singing that word louder. But let's go Rangers. You should be forcibly removed and tased.
No, you know what? I've been waiting for you to be a man and give us a hard take.
It's something that has bothered me. What kind of drunken lout is going to scream, let's go Rangers in the middle of the national anthem? Imagine if Strahan did that, started screaming, let's go Rangers in the middle of it, people's heads would explode.
Do you give me a pass for the, oh?
Yeah, I do, because it's clever.
Thank you.
It's possible that if Strahan did that, I think MSG would probably use it on the Jumbotron tonight.
You think so, right?
Do you think the tasing is too much, Peter?
Yeah.
No, I like what you've done.
Because you know what? It's an opinion that had hair.
It did. And you know what? I'd like to go to a Ranger game and confront somebody who does it.
No. See, now, if you really want to get notoriety for the show, you show up, you see the person do it, and you tase them yourself.
No, but that would be assault. Well, how about if I narc on them?
You just start filming and pointing?
No, and just go to one of the ushers and go, I want that person thrown out.
They're not going to kick them out for that.
Well, they've kicked people out for less.
I want to talk to all of these people who came out. I'm gonna ring up Michelle Tafoya and get her thoughts.
All right, why don't we do that for a guest tomorrow? Billy Joel, take it away.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, Man City Soccer. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
K Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Untuck It makes every guy look better. From tall to short, from big to slim. From our iconic button-downs for all shapes and sizes to a whole lot more. Try us today. Untuck It. We just make guys look better. Oh, and we make great styles for her, too. Shop the sale now at untuckit.com and more than 80 stores worldwide.
Did you get the Duracell batteries?
What's it matter? Batteries are all the same. Incorrect. Only Duracell is built different with Power Boost ingredients inside. Power Boost ingredients are a unique blend of nickel and lithium. No other batteries have them. Power Boost.
Does RexMD really work? Over 85% of patients said not only does it work, they saw results the very first night. Get started with the 30-day sample pack. Generics now only $1 per tablet at rexmd.com/30.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Get Black Friday savings all month long. Lease Tacoma for just $289 a month or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
A team grows in Brooklyn. Block by block. Play by play. Shot by shot.
We got Nets.
You coming?
New Yorkers are tough and work hard. Respect to those working or retired from hard jobs, living on a fixed income. Because making ends meet can be hard, but paying your energy bill shouldn't be. New York State and New York State Utilities have partnered to build New York Energy Advisor, a one-stop site to find programs and resources that lower your energy costs. It's quick, it's easy.
And then it's done.
Go to energyadvisor.ny.gov today.
There's no place like the road home. Receive a $5,500 bonus on a new 2024 Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid during the Season of Audi Sales event.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Nets and more of your local teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes.
Love that chicken from Popeyes. The Hess truck's back, and it's better than ever to the rescue. This year, the Hess truck's here.
It's the 60th anniversary Hess Fire Truck. A 3-toy set with blazing fire chief car and motorcycle, loaded with realistic sounds, lights, and a towering ladder. Get it now at HessToyTruck.com with free shipping and Energizer batteries included.
For the 60th.
He looked to avoid a fourth defeat in a row across all competitions today, whilst Brighton come into this one off the back of 2 straight defeats against Liverpool in both the Premier League and the EFL Cup. All 3 of those Man City defeats came on the road, and today's trip to the Amex Stadium is the 4th away game in a row before we head into the November international break. All might not be as bad as it seems.